My name is Grace Hopkins, and I was first aware of Cape Cod when I was born here in 1973. Lived here every summer of my life and wintered in New York, and just fell in love with it early on as a kid, you know, going to the beach and playing, but also being involved in the arts here. Dad was very involved in the arts and obviously very important in the art scene, being part of Long Point, and I was always the kid that was along for the ride because my parents didn't have money for babysitters and they brought me wherever they wanted to go, and so I was always generally the only child at most of these functions, so all of the older generation from here I grew up with, and that was a big part of my social scene, was going to art openings and dance parties and events and all of that kind of fun cocktail party life on Cape Cod. And I decided to put down roots here in 2012. Dad had just passed away and I had all these paintings to deal with and all of this estate to handle. And I felt like the best place to be was home. And so I moved here permanently in 2012 and have been dealing with the estate and the paintings and retrospectives and getting his work in museums and other places that he didn't have work in collections of beforehand. So that was pretty much my story as to why I'm here, and I enjoy being here all year round. There is no bad season on Cape Cod. It's just beautiful all year round. The photograph of Dad that Norma took, I think he had hired her for taking some pictures of me and him in the studio and the family in general. So she spent the day with us in New York, and this is a pretty telling picture of Dad. He was always very relaxed in his studio. He had bought the building because he was living in it as a renter before, because Franz Klein lived a block away, and so he wanted to be as close to Franz as possible. And after when he was, I guess, in his 40s, he won the Guggenheim Foundation, and he decided to put down roots on Cape Cod and build another house on Cape Cod. He had followed Franz to Cape Cod originally, and he and his first wife had built a house, and then she got that house in the divorce, and so they built a concrete structure on Cape Cod so that he could have a lifetime studio. So the Guggenheim was, you know, meant to let you work for a year unhindered. Instead, it let him work for his whole rest of his life every summer and have a space to work in. And then when he got involved with the Long Point, he was the one who was gutsy enough to ask Motherwell to be a part of it, and everyone said, oh, you can't do that, he wouldn't be interested. And I think it actually was one of Motherwell's favorite things, was that he had this place that was not a regular gallery. It was friends, and it was companionship and camaraderie and that kind of thing. And he also, Dad, had the guts to ask Berta Walker in New York if she was interested in running it. And she said, why would I want to run a gallery in Provincetown? It was very funny, but I think it planted the seed a bit for her to start her own gallery and actually be the gallery director up here on the Cape. So it all kind of came around, and I think the Long Point was very important for Dad as a place to be with friends and to, you know, try different things out and experiment and not have to feel the pressure that you have in New York to do certain things the way the gallery wants you to. In this case, this was their gallery.